Hey, this is Collegetalktv, and today I'll be doing a video on Fallout 3. I honestly have to say, out of all the games I play, Fallout 3 is probably my favorite game ever. I don't know why, I just like sci-fi, and I like having a game that's open world, you know, um, a game that you don't play for 5 hours and you're done. You can play this game for hundreds of hours and still have things to do. Well, I don't think hundreds of hours, but a couple hundred, maybe 200 hours tops. So basically, like the background of the game is this is the Fallout 3 is the first one for the PlayStation 3 and the 360. And what you do is you're like alright, the everything's wiped out. You're in Washington D.C. or right outside of Washington D.C. and everything's everything hit the fans, and China and America nuked each other. So about 200 years after this war, and it's the year 2227, 2277. So it's way in the future, but it's still like the people are still living like like probably even primitive more than we are today in some aspects. But then you have like other you have different groups in the game who are technologically advanced, like the Enclave and the Brotherhood of Steel. So you start the game off in a vault, and you pretty much you were born in there. It's a vault, so it's like it's like probably about 200 300 people maybe in it, but it's not that many people. But let's say this was like a real world thing, it'll probably fit like maybe 200 300 people. And so you're in this vault, you're born in it, and then eventually your father, who you find out, I don't want to give out too many details, but he has like a mysterious past, and he leaves the vault all of a sudden, and he kills sort of like your uncle type figure, and he leaves into the wasteland, which is like a vast expanse outside of DC. It's huge. It's surrounding towns, caves, other vaults, which are sort of like the harder areas in the game. You have all these different like little settlements of you have like the raiders, who are bad guys, and you have like the actual slaver faction who capture people and enslave them. Let's see what else. Oh, then you have like Megaton, which is probably the first city you go to if you like just follow the directions from the person who's telling you to leave the vault or whatever. So you go to Megaton, you try to see where your father went. He actually went to DC to see this one guy named Three Dog, who's a radio jockey, and the Brotherhood of Steel actually supports him. He's a radio jockey, and his building's in DC, and there's basically a war going on between two factions. At first, it's like the super mutants, who are human beings are taken to this vault way outwards, and they're dumped into this chemical called FEV, and they evolve into like grotesque beasts, and all they do is they capture people and take them. So and then there's different levels, and then there's like the giant super mutants, who are like tall as buildings. And the Brotherhood of Steel is like pretty much the remnants of the United States military in some aspects. They're sort of xenophobic. They don't accept any outsiders. You join them eventually. You always see them around DC fighting the super mutants, which is sort of cool. If you go to Rivet City, which is like where the sane people, not insane, but sane people live in DC, which is like a old aircraft carrier that has like a bridge, so it's sort of a safe haven for people. What else? Oh, and then like you can't really traverse DC through how you would with streets. You can still walk on some of the streets, but you have to go through the subway because it's pretty much bombed out. It's just everything's in ruins. You go to the White House, and there's a I think, what is it, or the Capitol building, and there's two different factions, the super mutants and the Talon Company mercs, who are fighting over it. And it's you sort of go in there and you just wipe out both of them. And it's just like you can go to like the Library of Congress. Let's see, what else is it? Oh, the Lincoln Memorial, which is sort of like it's taken over by slavers, and then you have like a group who wants to, end slavery in the wasteland, or you can choose to, continue it. Um, let's see what else. You have the Jefferson Memorial, which is something I don't want to give up too many details on because it's a key element of the game. Then you have like the Pentagon, which is like the Brotherhood of Steel's main base out here, because if you played the other Fallout games before this, it's they're they're a faction that's fighting out west, where they actually came to DC. Like, if you follow the game story or whatever, they probably came. I think they came out here like 50 years ago, and then you have like a lot of add-ons, which I'll talk about a lot in another video. So, if you like shooters, and if you like open world such as like Grand Theft Auto, or like games that are like Dungeons and Dragons, or Elder Scrolls, this is actually made by the same company that makes the Elder Scrolls. So if you like those kind of games, this is definitely a game you should get. I give this game like a 10 out of 10 because it's one of my favorite games ever. Just so much, like like you can actually walk around, you can see stuff that if you've been to DC before, you can actually like notice. I mean, it's sort of sad that the way things happen. I mean, you never know if that can happen in the future, because nuclear warfare is that's not something we should like we should like have diplomatic options to everything. But it's just it's just you walk around, and it's sort of sad, but it's also a very fun game as well, just to talk to people and discover new locations and stuff like that in the story. So subscribe, like, comment. Have a nice day.